The first Eagles offseason domino has fallen. Darius Slay designated with a post-June 1st cut. Where did the Eagles go from here in the secondary? What is next? We're going to talk all about it and what the Darius Slay move means for the Eagles. We are live taking your thoughts and opinions in 30 seconds.
Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 woo!
And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, YouTube, Twitter, as always. Please, wherever you're doing, wherever you're watching, please take a moment, hit that like button, hit that YouTube subscribe button, and please hit that share button. If you're watching over on Twitter, head on over to the STT Sports Network YouTube page because we are on a race to 500 subscribers. We're starting this show at 451. Would love to get to 500 as soon as possible. It's free to do. It doesn't cost a thing to like, subscribe to these shows, guys. I greatly appreciate it. While other networks I watch and you have to pay to have your voice heard, you got to pay to have your opinions heard. Not here. Not here. Here, it is free. Always will be free. Guys, let's get to it today because there was breaking news yesterday. After yesterday's show, Darius Slay has officially been put on notice that he is going to be a post-June 1st waiver wire cut. He is being cut from the Eagles. The move is to save over almost $4.5 billion in salary cap. It's a move to continue to push the youth movement. It's a move that has repercussions throughout the Eagles defense for sure. Darius Slay brought into Philadelphia in 2020 offseason via trade by Howie Roseman. We're going to get into a lot about the Darius Slay trade from 2020 and how I feel like it may be value-wise one of the greatest trades in Eagles history. Darius Slay, love him or hate him, huge part of this past season's Eagles team, huge part of the Eagles Super Bowl run. You know, 74 starts in Philadelphia, 9 interceptions, a couple of touchdowns, the 3 Pro Bowls, obviously 2 trips to a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl champion. Darius Slay has been a vital part of this Eagles defense for the last 5 years now. So, it's sad to see him go. This move also does not eliminate him from coming back down the line. A la Fletcher Cox, similar thing happened 2 years ago, with Fletcher Cox, and he did end up later in the offseason returning to Philadelphia on a 1-year deal. So there is a chance that Darius Slay does come back to Philadelphia. We'll see. We won't know for a very long time on that. But this is the first domino to fall. Again, it saves them $4.5 million almost in cap space, and that's huge. When you're looking at offseason with some big-time free agents that you want to retain, like Zach Bond and Mekhi Becton and maybe Milton Williams, etc., that is very key to save that cap space. So there's a lot of pros, lots of cons. Who takes over at the outside corner spot is a big question mark to me. We're going to discuss all the options on the outside corner, and I know Rick's itching to get in to the comments section here, so we'll get right to the comments here as we get started today. But guys, please like and subscribe to the show and channel. Not a popular opinion, but I think Lane Johnson. Where's Lane Johnson and Sean Andrews coming into a Darius Slay conversation? I don't know, but Lane Johnson, is he the GOAT? I don't know. We talked about this yesterday, comparing him to Jason Peters, who just retired, and Kelsey. Sean Andrews, yeah, I mean, he got hurt. So it's a what if. Darius Slay, same guy that trashed his own teammate, GJ on the Dallas Cowboys podcast. Don't let the door. Look, yeah, I get what you're saying, Rick, and I know you said this on my short yesterday. But Darius Slay was a vital part of winning the Super Bowl this year, first off. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson trashed this team in City on his way out the door to Detroit last offseason. So you know what? People say things in the heat of the moment. Things happen. I think you're Chauncey, your Darius Slay dislike or hate is probably a little overblown, in my opinion. Good morning, little G. Hope you are well this morning. Saving almost $5 million. Yeah, $4.3 million this year in cap space. Saved $16 million in cash total. So, yeah, the cap savings is very, very, very important. The question is, who is going to be that younger cornerback that takes over in that spot if he doesn't? Look, Dirk Gunn tweeted out last night, something that I didn't need him to tweet it out, but I've been saying it since the offseason started, that Darius Slay probably would be cut and could come back on a new deal. Dirk Gunn, said don't be surprised if he returns. That's something we'll get into. The $5 million is a huge deal. Got to let the younger cornerbacks play anyway. Well, the younger cornerbacks are Keely Ringo, and that's about it. Because Isaiah Rodgers is a free agent as well. Now, maybe they bring back Isaiah Rodgers on a deal. We'll see what his price tag is. I am not sure I'm ready to turn the reins to a Super Bowl champion defense, best defense in football, over to Keely Ringo yet. I'm not sure I've seen enough from Keely Ringo. So that's why I'm not ruling out Darius Slay. Now, I would be okay with Ringo and Rodgers going into camp, battling it out. But I kind of got to see. And I want to just say this to the people that are going to suggest moving Cooper DeJean to the outside. I know all the reports coming out of the draft last year were that Cooper DeJean is an outside guy. Cooper DeJean was an elite slot corner this year. By moving him outside, you create a huge hole on the inside. And in the NFL, with the way CeeDee Lamb and Terry McLaurin and Puka Nacua and these guys line up in the slot, you need Cooper DeJean, Cooper Kupp. You need Cooper DeJean in that slot. You do. So Cooper DeJean needs to stay on the inside. I disagree, Rick. I disagree in the glad that he is gone. If you want to say, I want them to get younger at the position, that's fine. But because of the podcasting, and I was bitching and moaning about the podcast thing in season 2. Don't like it when they're podcasting in season, especially with their division rival. But the player himself is still a very, very valuable, talented player. So we care about Super Bowl championships. That's what's the most important. I think Kentucky's cornerback Maxwell Hairston just became a major first-round target for the Eagles yesterday. Dobbs, really? I do not think I can force – I don't see a way that the Eagles would draft a first or second-round cornerback again. It's something they don't do often. They did it twice last year. They're going to have to replace Milton Williams on the D-line. I would be shocked if they took a cornerback in the first 2 rounds. I really would. Josh Allen's wasted career. Every single person that gets cut or traded or whatever, you say everybody's washed. Do you have a line or a gimmick other than calling people washed? Elite athlete, similar to Q from last year. But do you really see them investing in the draft in a high position or a high value pick in that position again? I find it very hard to imagine that. I really see them going defensive tackle or edge rusher with that position. I still expect them to trade down, but a cornerback, I don't know. Not sure how I feel about that happening. Yeah, stop. Stop with the hate. Darius Slay was terrific last year. Darius Slay proved that he is still a top-tier cornerback in the NFL right now. So the Slay hate is kind of crazy. Rodgers, Ringo, Mitchell, DeJean, Ricks has not been an active player on game day except for week 18 all year long, so you can't trust Ricks. Rodgers is a free agent still. And Ringo, while he spent the last 2 years learning from Slay, he's only 22, 23 years old, hasn't proven anything. And we're trying to win back-to-back Super Bowls. Are we really going to turn the reins over to Ringo and hope that he's elite? or close to it. Rodgers is good. He hasn't proven anything, but Rodgers is a good player. Good, semi-young. I mean, what's he, 27 years old? To return to Philly or Detroit for Slay, I hope Ringo beats the comp for starter with Q. I'd love to see Ringo earn the starting job because that would be a great return on your investment in that draft pick. And yes, I think Darius Slay goes back to Detroit or does return. I could see Rodgers walking. I could see Slay testing the open market, realizing he's not going to get big bucks, and be like, you know what? Let's just stay home. The wife loves it in Philly. She loves tailgating in Philly. You know, losing Darius Slay also means we lose the awesome Jennifer Williams. So there's that aspect of it as well. Slay speaks with a forked tongue. I don't even know what that means. Eagles going to draft in the trenches early. Yes, absolutely, and they should. We agree on that, Rick. We might not agree on Darius Slay, but we agree on that 100%. Whether it's tackle, whether it's end, they're going to get the best defensive lineman available whenever they select, at 32, at 27, at 45, wherever it is they go, they're going to go defensive line. I would be 90+% like or confident in that. Bradbury Watch. Well, Bradbury's going to get cut as well. That's a foregone conclusion that James Bradbury's going because you'll save, I think it's $3 million more. If they don't draft in the trenches, I would guess Howie starts corner over tight end or linebacker. Yeah, I could see them trading back out of the first round and then taking a tight end or a linebacker or cornerback in the second round, maybe cornerback in the second round. But I would find it very hard to imagine any of those positions, even if it's at 32. I highly doubt it. Eagles need to draft Amanawari as first pick. Needs safety help. Interesting that you put safety up there, Jonathan. You know, I'm one that's not 100% sold on Reed Blankenship and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson as long-term solutions at safety. Sidney Brown's really not done anything. He's been injured, and in between being injured, not been special. He's still got a lot of learning and growing to get. I keep mocking, who is it? Penn State safety to us in like the fourth round or something like that. I do see safety on their needs when others don't, but I don't know if they would go first round. I don't know. I kind of feel like the Darius Slay move has opened up a whole world of different, even though we knew it was coming, opened up a whole new world of potential on what Howie Roseman's going to do. Slay is being kept together with duct tape right now. And I get that. I get the get rid of the old guy a year too soon versus a year too late. They already tried to move on from Darius Slay back before 2023. He had a big money offer to go to the Ravens, and then Zach Berman was talking about the story yesterday where Big Dom went to Slay and said, Slay, we need you. And Slay stayed because Big Dom asked him to. Yes, he missed a couple games this year. He came out of multiple games this year for plays. He does get banged up, but when out there, Nooms, he was playing at a very high level. He just was. Oh, everybody likes Quinion Mitchell. Quinion Mitchell's amazing, elite. He was. There is the Darius Slay gets banged up angle to talk about, for sure. He was the second oldest starting cornerback in football this past season. There's no doubt about that. Rick, you are 100% sure it's going to be Rodgers opposite of Q. Eagles definitely re-sign him, mark it down. I'm just curious on what his market value, not his market, because there will be teams that want him, but what will the market value be on Isaiah Rodgers? How much more or less than just retaining Darius Slay would it cost you? That's the question. The Eagles have a lot of tough decisions to make this offseason. They only have so much money this offseason to spend. So I'd be very curious to see how it plays out. Rodgers seems like a no-brainer, like too obvious. Well, again, too obvious does not also mean it fits into the salary cap and what you want to do this offseason. The Eagles have a lot of things to do. They got their own free agents to re-sign or replace. So, and there's a lot of them. And where does Isaiah Rodgers fall in the pecking order? Now that you're going to cut Darius Slay, the importance of cornerback too is up there now. How much money are you going to invest in that spot? I don't know. Would it be worth it? I'm just making up numbers. This is not rumors. This is not what the value is. Just for math purposes. If Rodgers is worth 3 years, $15 million, okay, and you can retain Darius Slay for 1 year, $6 million, I feel better doing Darius Slay and having Keely Ringo continue to learn 1 more year. People forget how young Keely Ringo really is. Yeah, I don't think they'll draft high safety, but third, fourth round, I could definitely see it, Rick. There's some good value prospects in the draft at safety that go third, fourth, fifth round. That's where I see them addressing safety. They definitely need to work on that position for sure. I think with the Darius Slay move, cornerback is more important at this point. Honestly, I think it's definitely more important at this point. Your quarterback's better than most teams, even without Slay. That is true. When you've got Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, obviously, the secondary is pretty good. Eagles' biggest needs right now, O-line and D-line depth. O-line depth, yes. D-line starters, maybe. You're losing Sweat and Milton Williams. They're not depth pieces. They're major contributors on the defense. And they need to be replaced or kept. Now, again, Myles Garrett rumors are swirling. Does the Darius Slay move to free up $4.5 million make you lean towards thinking maybe the Eagles really are trying to go get Myles Garrett? That's $4 extra million to put towards whatever he's getting paid. Page is a good pick later in the draft. I have not seen him come up on my mocks, but what? What are you talking about? I don't even know. I don't know who Page is. He doesn't come up on my mocks yet as an available player, but maybe. I'm not really sure. Let's look him up here. No, that's not it. Hold on. Let me get this name right here. Yeah, he doesn't even pop up if I type his name in on the mock draft thing. I just typed in Page, and Peyton Page was the only one that came up on PFN's thing here. Interesting. Normally, I would say make sure your safety is great on special teams, but Sidney Brown has that covered. Sidney Brown still's got a lot of learning to do. The injury obviously set him back drastically in his development. There is a lot of raw talent there, but he hasn't really put it all together yet, Sidney Brown. And I'm good, with Reed and Chauncey being the starters entering next year at safety. But there is the theory that if Reed doesn't take another step or whatnot, I mean, technically speaking, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson signed a 3-year deal, but there's an out after 2 years. In theory, you're going to need a new starting safety the following year. So, yeah, Sidney Brown could be that guy. I don't know if he is going to be that guy, though. I'm not sure. Highly doubt Eagles go after Garrett as they have 2 young stud pass rushers in Smith and Hunt that need to play. Absolutely. But Howie's not afraid of the big, bold move. Now, there's a lot of strong rumors out there and a lot of important people in the media that get paid big bucks to say dumb things that say Howie is one of the leading contenders to get him. Now, Howie is not the guy to leak Myles Garrett-type rumors into the media. Like, there is no A.J. Brown leaks in the media at all. Howie does not let that shit leak, okay? So when media are saying that Howie is making a strong push, I tend not to believe it because that's not Howie's MO. But I wouldn't put it past him. He's not afraid to make the bold swing. Time in Den Oak? What? Denial? What? Oh. You're funny. Ringo is great on special teams, but he might have to be a starting on the outside. You don't put your starter on the outside on special teams then. So If Slay's not here, if Rodgers isn't here, Ringo's your starter. So he's not a special teamer anymore. The roster is already cheating. Miles would be unfair. Not understanding why the dislike for Reed and Chauncey as stars. They both played physical. Well, I mean, I think me not saying I dislike them. I just don't see them as elite. I think I'm being more reasonable about my lack of 110% faith in those two guys than your hate in Darius Slay. So we'll give and take on that one a little bit. If they go after Garrett, it seems like it's to prevent someone else from getting him. But really, we have Jordan Mailata and Lane. Yeah, I agree. I hate making moves just to keep a guy away from another team. That just seems silly in my sense. It seems like an overreaction kind of move. Now, I did crush the Deebo Samuel move to Washington, but losing Darius Slay does concern me a little bit because you need a second great outside corner now. It's not Howie. It's Garrett's people leaking the information. Very well possibly. Very possible for sure. I'm just still curious about, I just don't know what Rodgers will command. You know what? Let's switch my NFL free agents page here to just cornerbacks. And let me see how many cornerbacks are even available of elite level. So Carlton Davis, Javarius Ward, DJ Reed, Rasul Douglas, Stephon Gilmore. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole hell of a lot of elite secondary players out there. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how cheap or how expensive Rodgers will be before. Like, that's the hard. I'm having a really hard time putting a number on Rodgers. I haven't had trouble putting numbers on Zach Bond or Mekhi Becton or Milton Williams. I'm having trouble putting a number on Isaiah Rodgers because we really just don't know. What part of Reed's game did you not like? They're great players. They also make a lot of mistakes. They're boom-bust players. They are. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson missed a bunch of tackles in a bunch of games. Reed Blankenship is out of position regularly in the secondary, but also makes big plays. They're home run hitters. They're like the Phillies offense. They go for the home run. They don't know how to advance the runner to second base. Not saying that they're not great. They're very great, good, or good. They're very good players. They're just not great. There's a reason why Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's been on 4 teams in the last 4 years. And Reed's a good player. I just don't think he's elite. He's probably the weakest link on the defense. 35-year-old corner, losing him is not concerning. It's inevitable. Yeah, and I get the age. I do. But in the 14 games he played, he still played at a very high level, K1. Darius Slay was still a very strong cornerback. Slay ain't great. The system covered up a lot for him this year. Maybe. Or maybe Slay made the system work by being a lockdown corner on the outside. Yeah, Evan Rodgers and Cooper DeJean definitely helped. Definitely brought the fountain of youth found Darius Slay this year. And next year, he may literally fall to pieces. I don't disagree with cutting Darius Slay. I disagree with Rick, being so anti-Slay and calling him out like you are, but Slay was a vital part of winning a Super Bowl. And I've never seen so much hate for somebody so simply, important to winning a Super Bowl. It's nitpicking, but CJ and Reed do get caught out of position. I see the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson missed tackles from, I can't remember which games. There's 2 or 3 games where he had like 4 missed tackles. And I remember Reed being out of position a lot. And that's it. They're still really good players, Nooms. Bring back Rasul Douglas. I don't know about that. I don't know if I really. How old's Rasul Douglas? Hold on, let me see here. Rasul Douglas is going to be 31 next year. Wow. Feel like he's going to be 41, but yeah. Rodgers is going to be expensive just because he has the ring and played well. He played well in a very limited amount, Duck, and good morning, Duck. I just don't know if he's going to be expensive. He's not going to be cheap, but he's not going to be expensive. He's going to be somewhere in the middle, maybe. How many times did Slay get burnt or bit on the outs and ups? He ain't great. Not many times, honestly. No more times than Reed Blankenship was out of position. No more times than Chauncey Gardner-Johnson missed tackles. Damn you, Kellen. He took yeah, look, that's old news. Or at least maybe it wasn't official. Maybe it's official now. CJ, GJ, and Reed play the same way. They both are out of position a lot. CJ is athletic enough to make up for it. Reed has limitations. Look, this is not a bash CJ and Reed. It's just to say that drafting a safety in the third or fourth round is a viable option for the future of this team. Stop taking our wops. Let's see. Slay ain't been locked down for 7 years. What? Darius Slay goes down as the greatest value draft pick or trade in Eagles history. Trading a third and fifth round pick in 2020 for a guy that started 74 games, 9 interceptions, 3 Pro Bowls, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 56 passes defended. The dude was the greatest return ever. Do you know who those guys were? I mean, one of those picks that we traded away turned into Quintez Cephas, Cephus, don't know how to say it, who started 6 games in 7 years, or in 3 years. And that's it. It's out of football. Jonah Jackson, he's an okay depth guard. And Julian Blackmon, solid safety. So basically you traded Julian Blackmon for Darius Slay. Pretty darn good value in return there. Douglas Moore, Washington Slay. Yeah, that we can agree on. Slay or Asante? Slay got the Super Bowl. Asante was probably a more talented corner, for sure. But I'll take Quinion Mitchell over both, Marshawn. How about that? How about Quinion Mitchell is already the second greatest cornerback in Eagles history behind just Hall of Famer Eric Allen? How about that? How about I change? You ask the questions, and I change them. Just like that. Yeah. He got hurt often, but was very solid. I agree. I'm not sure where the hate stemming from the podcast. You know, we hate podcast Paul. So because Darius Slay went on the Micah Parsons podcast many times, and look, in season, I hated it. But that's not going to make me change my opinion that he's not a great, well, he wasn't a great cornerback. It's on the decline, for sure, but still very solid. Bring me the coach that got the max out of Rasul Douglas, yeah. Howie liked CJ enough to bring him here twice. Ain't doubting Howie. No, I'm not doubting. I'm not doubting Howie one bit. Not one bit. Look, I was shocked they brought Chauncey back after the way his exit didn't go so well. Blank ship is terrible. I watched the Eagles game and say Reed is terrible. He's not terrible. He's just a weak link. The system covered up for Slay so many times. Dude is washed up and a snake on top of that. I don't get the snake stuff, man. I think you've got some misplaced hate towards Darius Slay, Rick. I really do. Slay is the best trade in Eagles history with the highest upside. The best trade might be like an A.J. Brown trade or the Carson Wentz trade, whatever. But the best value trade that you gave up, literally a guy that was out of the league in 3 years and a solid safety, a pick that became a solid safety, and that's it for him. The best value trade in Eagles history. Because again, the 18th pick for A.J. Brown, that might be the best trade. Or the trading Carson Wentz to then turn the reins over to Jalen Hurts, and then you actually got the pick for A.J. Brown out of that. That might be the best trade. The safeties are better than a lot of Eagles safety combos in history. Well, that is true, but that's because we've had some pretty bad secondaries in general over the years. I'm not triggered at all. I'm triggered over the unnecessary hate being levied Darius Slay's way. Darius Slay's been nothing but great to the community, to the fan base. He's helped us win a Super Bowl. And that's that. A.J. Brown is 100% a better trade. I'm using the word value. If you put a value on each draft pick, much better value You gave away nothing to get Slay. You gave away a first-round pick for A.J. Brown. Just saying. Also need to consider all the trash cornerbacks that came before Slay. I know. What was our secondary room look like in 2018 and 2019? Seriously, Kerry Williams, man. I mean, I remember Maxwell and Nandi, but totally forgot about Kerry Williams. Totally forgot. Good pull there, Dubs. Good one. Yeah, he has 2 Super Bowl rings with another team, not the Eagles. When I said Slay had a more Super Bowl, I just meant with the Eagles. Apologize for that. Cephas is on the Rams. According to my notes, he did not play football this year. So maybe he was on the practice squad, but he did not play football this year. Asante won several Super Bowls. He'll probably be in the Hall of Fame. Slay won't. Asante will be a Hall of Fame. I don't know why we're comparing Slay versus Asante. Asante is probably a Hall of Famer. Now, with the whole Eric Allen situation, you'll agree that something's up with cornerbacks getting into the Hall of Fame. There's not as many as there should be. So how long it'll take Asante, I don't know. Darius Slay won't be a Hall of Famer. Yeah, probably not. But Darius Slay was a vital part of the Eagles' defense. There is way too much Slay hate right now going on, and I'm not triggered per se. I'm just confused. Like, I really am. We should draft the safety second, third round. I'm saying third to fifth round. I will be ready to play at the end of the Chauncey contract. Yeah. See, the Chauncey contract's interesting because there's an out after this year. He's got 3 years, but there's an out. And would they move on from him after the second year, turn the reins over to somebody else, or would they renegotiate? Hell, maybe Howie renegotiates his contract this offseason to free up some more cap space. I just appreciate a guy that's done his thing. Slay's wife is the greatest and hot. Okay, plain and simple. Plain and simple. I'm not a banana person, but her banana bread supposedly very good. Chat talking like many Marcus Epps back. Hey, Marcus Epps is a free agent, I think. His contract is up this offseason. He's around. I got your community right here. Yeah. Reed is a high bencher and low end starter because of his limited athleticism. He's a good starter on an average team. And look, he's a Super Bowl champion. Slay's podcast advisors need to do a better optics advisory job. The timing of the interactions were questionable. That's it. And that's where the Darius Slay hate comes from. Because he wanted to chit chat with Micah Parsons in season on a podcast. This is the problem with us fans. We complain about Bradley Fletcher and then complain about Slay, who's a Pro Bowler and helped us win. We suck at the fan base. I don't know if we suck. We're confused. We're flip-floppers, Marshawn. That's what we are. Phil is the quintess safest of pot. What? So you're saying I'm out of the league? Am I done? Am I out? Are you kicking me out of the league already? Am I a practice squatter, K1? Heartbroken. Heartbroken the way you treat me there. All I do for you. Phil, you are triggered. Not triggered at all. Not at all. Someone peed in the living room. I can hear the carpet cleaner going upstairs. Triggered Phil is great. I'm not triggered. I'm more triggered that you think I'm triggered than actually being triggered. That's more what it is. No more drafting safeties. We have 2 safeties under contract, and Sidney Brown is still an Eagle. I still think we need depth at the position, Marshawn. There ain't no rant, Phil. What's up, Mitchie Poo? How you doing? Good to see you, my buddy. We still 18 away from your goal and 49 from my goal. Start the show at 451 subscribers. Would love to see a few more gain today. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that share button, guys. CJ, yeah, he does. Probably. I mean, the hate that Darius Slay is getting. Just remember how much Chauncey Gardner-Johnson trashed this city, this fan base, and this team when he left to go to Detroit because he couldn't get the money he wanted from Howie, which is funny. And then we all welcomed him back with open arms. I questioned it. We all welcomed him back. Now we love him more, even though he has plenty of missed tackles. It's crazy. First off, I don't even need to read the rest of this comment. If you're trusting PFF rankings, then it devalues the comment. But I'll read it. Blankenship ranked as the 8th ranked safety who played at least 200 snaps. Look, PFF sucks. PFF is great when it backs up your narrative, but we all know their ranking system is pretty trash. Okay, we all know how they rank some of the Eagles terribly. Just so you know. So I wouldn't trust a PFF ranking to save my life. I don't need a Skip Payless clown take thing. He is not a top 8 safety in the NFL. Just because he says it or PFF says it does not make it true. He is not a top 8 safety. It must be on the practice squad. I see we changed our name again. You change your names way too much. Ain't Blankenship picked off 4 or 5 passes this year? What about his chemistry in the locker room? Y'all talk physical attributes. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not trying to move on from Reed Blankenship. I don't even know why Reed Blankenship got brought up in the conversation. Just saying that depth at safety is something that we need. Slay's wife is protective of her husband and family in general. Respect about that. Her takes are not always great. Yeah, I mean, I don't even follow her other than when she's doing giveaways. But I get it. Everyone's always going to protect their family for sure. And she does a lot of great stuff in the community. She's always involved heavily with the fan base. This is a safe space, okay? You don't understand my dislike for Slay. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't have dislike. I said he's perfectly fine. I just wouldn't mind some depth. That's all. I just wouldn't mind some depth and more developmental pieces behind him. Just in case. That is all I'm saying. I think CJ hated us. Then we went somewhere else and realized what he was missing. Pretty much, Duck. I think that's very accurate on Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. This is more made up. PFF is more made up than the Sixers trying to sell us hope. For the record, I stand by Ed Reed Blankenship, aka the Blank Man. That's fine. Confirmation bias generator. Yes, absolutely. You only use PFF to help your narrative, good or bad. Yeah, did they have Jalen Carter like 14,000 out of 13,000 defensive players this year on their ranking system? That is all you need to know. Don't need PFF to back up my narrative. I trust my eye test. It tells me blank. Yeah, good. He is a good safety. No one has said he's not a good safety. He is not elite. You just answered my question right there. He is not elite. He is good. There's nothing wrong with being good. But it also means when you're good, having a backup option that may eventually be better is not bad. Brought up the safeties as a worry. The depth at safety, I mean, these guys missed some time. Tristan McCullum was not great filling in at times. Sidney Brown still hasn't fully developed. Just asking for depth. I brought safeties for depth. I didn't say a first or second. Somebody else brought up a first round safety. I said no. I said there's a guy in Penn State that keeps falling to me in like the 4th round. That's a good idea to draft depth there. That's it. You're putting words into my mouth. Depth at safety should come from free agency. Howie cannot draft safety. Even the blank man was undrafted. Okay, I mean, if you want to go that route, that's fine. That Howie has missed on a lot of safeties in the draft. That's fine. Reed is still cheap. The whole safety room is suspect. That's fine. I can agree with that. 8 likes is not good enough. I mean, not even remotely close, Mitchie Poo. That's pathetic that we've got 8 likes on this video. 39 minutes into it, 106 comments, and we got 8 likes. Pathetic. Phil getting close to the edge. I got other reasons to be close to the edge. Landon Dickerson has the best number on the Eagles. Best what, PFF number? I don't know how to say his name. Is it Cephas? Cephas? Spell it out phonetically for me, K1. PFF need to watch the games. That is true. Watch how much worse Bond, Blank, and CJ look without Jalen Carter and Cooper. That's true. It's true. Elite is expensive. Elite is expensive. That is true. That's right. Hit that like button, please. Like, the fact that there's 8 likes just really really just breaks my heart right now. Just for some perspective. I agree, though. Slay ain't elite. I don't know if he's definitely not elite anymore. I can agree with you on that. But you're saying he's terrible and washed and whatnot. He's still good. He's still a very solid cornerback. You can do worse. Mr. Wallace and Cephas, what? Jersey number? What about a jersey number? What? Landon's jersey number. Oh, okay. I see. See? Fuss. So I've been saying it pretty much spot on. Guys, the children in this chat, the immaturity that I have let fester in the trending in the AM chat, man. It's something that legends are made of. Slay is a solid cornerback. Any team would be better to have him. Look, I don't care that the Eagles moved on from him. I just want to know what the plan is with the move on. Because I am not sold on Keely Ringo yet. Being ready for the big moment, which the big moment is us trying to win a Super Bowl for the second year in a row. Isaiah Rodgers, how expensive? If we could get Rodgers back here cheap enough, and have him and Ringo battling it out, I am perfectly A-okay with Slay moving on. If you've got those two options. But if it's Keely Ringo and some other schlub off the free agent wire, then I'm not going to be as happy or content. It is not. Not even close. I'm sure you couldn't even guess it. Being grown up is overrated anyway. That is true. Freddie, being grown up and having grown up real world problems, man. Overrated is you are right. You are the proprietor of this channel, Phil. You have allowed this. I have allowed it all. I have. Whatever. It's good. I have allowed this channel to devolve into God knows what. No, not my favorite number. Fangio instilling discipline into a group of guys that were looking for it is so hard to quantify. 1,000%. 1,000% accurate. Ringo will be fine. He just needs to see more snaps to figure it out. You very well may be right on that, Duck. You very well may be. Very possible. Nolan Smith wasn't ready for the big moment, but I'm sure the experience he took from Georgia helped a lot. Ringo will be ready. It's a great point. Now, the difference is, Marshawn, people were calling, not me, but people were calling Nolan Smith a bust. No one's called Ringo a bust yet. They just said he hasn't gotten there yet. And I'm just worried. Nolan Smith, though, it's a fair point. Very fair point. I don't know what I want to dive into more, your Slay hate or this comment. But look, I'm not saying the Phillies can't win a World Series. I'm just saying, not sure. Now, I will say this: their pitching so far in spring training, Rick, looks phenomenal. Christopher Sanchez looks elite in spring training. Luzardo might have refound himself. He might be the steal of the offseason pitching-wise. Still just questions about the Phillies offense. No, it does not. And no, it does not. Dolphins wanted to be uncaged. They ain't want discipline. Yeah. We all talk about nonstop the Giants wanting to get rid of Saquon Barkley and how terrible of a decision that was. Let me tell you something. The Dolphins getting rid of Vic Fangio doesn't get talked. The Dolphins wanting to get rid of Vic Fangio doesn't get talked about enough. Phillies can't beat the Mets, I don't think, in a 7-game series. Richard is frisky this year. It's not Rick. It's Richard. He's Richard. Richard Beeman today. Vegas seems to like the Phillies a lot. Yeah, Vegas wants you to believe what they want you to believe. But yes, I don't know if it's still there, but yes, I did, like a week or two ago, see the Phillies were the 4th favorite to win the World Series. I get it. The value's not there, though, in that bet. 12-1 for a team that's consistently fallen further and further short is not great value. Now, if they were 18-1, 20-1, that would be phenomenal value on the bet there. But 12-1, I don't know. I'll wait till they lose a few games in April and then maybe pounce on the Phillies World Series odds. Phillies top 5 infield in MLB and top 3 staff. Definitely top 3 starting staff. Maybe top 2. Top 5 infield? Definitely top 10. Not sure I'm going to go top 5. Maybe, though. Somewhere in that 5, 6, 7 range. You are literally the greatest child in the history of grown men. Did the Sixers win? No. And you might have gotten Tyrese. They say before the game, Tyrese Maxey's hand is hurting. He can't shoot. It's a problem, but we're going to play him anyway. And then he hurts his back in the process. Good job, Philadelphia 76ers. Let's just ruin another young athlete with an injury. Yeah, all right, Dick Beeman. All right, with a capital D. Yeah, he is. He is something. That's true. Had those Eagles as a Super Bowl dog. I never understood it at the time. I still don't. I agree. It was the great cash in that ticket. I had them before the season at like 18-1 to win the Super Bowl. Philly's infield has 3 All-Stars. It does. It does. And maybe Bryson Stott will be better. Thank God the Sixers lost. We need that pick. Look, the Sixers tried not to lose. They were up at the end of the first quarter. But yeah, they need to lose. And they need to lose every game. But now you've injured Tyrese Maxey. Yeah, the guy has 3 fingers. He can't dribble a basketball or shoot. But we're going to trot him out there every night. What in the whole, like, for now, I'm starting to feel bad for Joel Embiid even more. But, like, these guys are just being trotted out there hurt for some reason. Like, it makes no sense. Sixers are the worst place for any player other than getting the money. Yeah. At this point, not only do we need to clean house, but we need to clean, like, the medical staff house out, too. Can't trust a single one of those doctors. Sixers are a sweatshop. Unsafe work. Absolutely. Unsafe work environment. Sounds like yeah. Mitch is something. Being a kicker, you can get 6 points or 9 points. Stop. The only Sixers news I'm interested in is the day they get sold and move to Quebec City. Quebec City now. JT will probably be an all-star this season, too, so 4 all-stars. Yeah, JT's coming towards the end of his – he's in the same spot as Slay is. Good. Still really good at some things. Not as great as other things. JT's getting up there in age. I'm not saying I'm going to see a decline from him, but I'm not going to see too much of an improvement from last year for JT. The Camden Sixers, sure. Let him go. The Sixers have at least a dozen blown halftime leads this season. Good. I wish it was 18. I wish it was more. The Sixers can't even lose properly. I went out with her last night, and she got, oh, my God. Maxey, with 1 finger, would have played for the Camden Sixers. Yeah. The Colt 45 Center. Yeah, that's an interesting name. Look, the Sixers, like, we can talk all we want about the Eagles, but the dysfunction with the Sixers, man, when you hear the Sixers trotting out Tyrese Maxey with his hand in so much pain that he can't dribble and shoot, because they're still trying to sell on us that the Sixers team has a chance at competing this year. It is the greatest malpractice. This is where you guys should be queuing up an old sponsor of the show. Like, there's some serious malpractice going on. There's something seriously wrong with the organizational culture in Philadelphia with the Sixers. Seriously wrong. Like, it makes no sense that Maxey's out there playing, period. Now he goes out there and seriously injures his back. Like, it makes no sense. I don't get it. Just shut the man down. There's 22 games left. You are not making the playoffs. You're barely going to get your lottery pick. And I did, because I was doing the math this morning. The Sixers are the 6th seed as of this moment. They have a top 6 protected lottery pick. Maybe they can get to the 5 spot with Toronto's 2.5 games behind us. Brooklyn's right there ahead of us. They need every loss possible. Yet you're going to go out there and throw injured Tyrese Maxey out there every night and then he's going to get hurt more? You want to rant? Well, there's my rant. Nick Nurse should be fired. Daryl Morey should be fired. Josh Harris should be fired. Can't fire an owner, but you can. There you go, Mitch. Yeah. Yabu with an eye patch would have played for the Kansas Sixers. Yeah. Yeah. See, you guys had a perfect moment to cue it up, but you chose not to. You had to be goaded into it. The second greatest lie the world has ever been told, that the Sixers are a competitive team. The first is the devil's myth. He's currently going by the name of Harris. Gotcha. Sixers tanking. It's 2014 all over again. But see, the thing is, they're not tanking. Are they tanking or are they not? At least I gave Sam Hinkie credit for being honest and transparent. Yeah, we're losing. Not this Sixers team. They're still telling us that these guys got a chance because, in theory, we're only 2.5 games behind the Bulls for the 10 seed. Hey, we're only 13 games behind the Pistons in the 6 seed. There's still 22 to go. The Sixers still got a chance. It's pathetically frustrating to be a Sixers fan. It's pathetically frustrating to even think about the Sixers. I didn't even turn the Sixers game on last night. I only know that Maxey got hurt and these quotes from reading social media. That's it. Hell, the Sixers are so bad they made me turn on Monday Night Raw last night. It's actually a pretty good episode of Raw last night. That's how bad it was. I didn't even go to YouTube TV last night. I went right to Netflix for Raw last night. Quentin Grimes shot 44. Yeah. Yeah, it makes no sense. Sixers threshold exceeded. Look, I'm out on the Sixers. It's Cena sucks. Yeah, Cena does suck. There ain't no doubt about that one. And honestly, the Cena heel turn, I don't really care. Like, that's the most the Cena Rock Cody storyline is the least interesting thing going on in all of professional wrestling right now. Let's be honest. It's so everybody's freaking out about it. Not me. Care less. Let's talk Wooder Dogs. No Wooder Dogs talk. No. But I mean, it would probably be more entertaining. Okay, well, we do have the Arnold Palmer Invitational. We'll be talking about it live tonight, 6 p.m. right here on this channel on Fairway to Heaven. Jason, Steven, Fuentes, and myself. So we got that. No, and the CM Punk, I didn't get home in time to see the opening of Raw, but I went back and rewatched it, and yes, CM Punk on the mic. He was a terrible MMA fighter, an asshole of a wrestler backstage. But let me tell you something. That dude can spit out so much on the mic. The dude's great. One of the best of all time on the mic. That's right. Golf talk. Flyers may have a surprise brewing. Really? I can't believe that the trade deadline in hockey hasn't happened yet. Isn't the trade deadline in hockey almost always at the same, like within a week of the NBA trade deadline? Like, it's been a long stretch here, in my opinion. Maybe it's because of the Four Nations tournament. They stretched it out. Cena sucks as a heel. I'm not sold on his mic skills as a heel unless he starts rapping again. Yeah, I just don't. The Rock final boss thing, overrated. Cody as a champion, Cody's only popular because he's got a cool song. The Rock is not believable. And John Cena, it's just, I'm over it. Yeah, it's 3-7, but like, wasn't like the NBA trade deadline like 2-6 or 2-7? Like, aren't they normally like a week or two apart? Like, it's a good month since the NBA trade deadline. I thought they were always lined up. Yeah, like the hockey and NBA seasons are just so long and so drawn out. I mean, that's part of the problem. I don't know. The Rock sucks. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, it just doesn't. I'm bored. Like, those are cringe segments. Maybe we just got so spoiled with how great the OTC was as the champion for so many years. But man, the main event scene there, Mania, that's the worst part of Mania right now, in my opinion, shaping up. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I'd rather watch Joe Hendry than those guys wrestle. And I'll tell you this, Joe Hendry's overrated too. His bubble has burst already, in my opinion. Guys, we're almost at the top of the hour here. You're watching Trending in the AM. right here on the STT Sports Network if you haven't already. Like, subscribe, share. We're talking Darius Slay, the first move in the offseason for the Philadelphia Eagles. Being waived post-June 1st, saving $4.5 million in salary cap. We're talking Sixers. We're talking Phillies. We're talking wrestling. We're talking it all. Can't wait until the Super Bowl happens around St. Patrick's Day. I mean, honestly, we're going to get there, right? Right, Nooms? They're going to stretch it out. They're going to add an extra week to it eventually and make the Super Bowl on President's Day weekend so that most people get the day off after. Not me as a restaurant guy, but Travis Scott legitly cold-cocked Cody there. If you watch it back in slow motion, Mitch, you see The Rock ready to whip Cody Rhodes with his weight belt. But you even see The Rock see it and you see a little twitch in The Rock's face, like, oh shit. That was a mistake. Like, if you really watch it, and maybe you haven't seen it, legitly there's a twitch in The Rock's face when Travis Scott punches Cody Rhodes, legitly. There haven't been many complaints about Punk these days. Pretty sure that's equal parts him seeing the light and realizing the grass isn't always greener. Yeah, he's definitely behaving for now. Talking anything but Flyers. You guys want Flyers talk, and then when I bring up the Flyers, you don't. I didn't even make a background for the Flyers. All I got is the red, green, and blue backgrounds. That's all that I made. So, I can't even talk Flyers because I didn't make even a proper Flyers background for me. Punk's in-ring performance 25 is far better. It's actually put on some bangers for sure. He actually has. That old Drew McIntyre feud was fire. Am I the only one of the few people who have unreasonable amount of confidence in the Phillies despite the lack of big moves? No, Big Al, because Rick says it all the time that they're winning the championship. They're winning the World Series. Maybe the year we doubt them is the year that they actually come through and win a World Series. Look, the Phillies have a great team. There's a reason why they're the fourth favorite to win the World Series, 12-1. But they still are a great team on paper. They have one of the best pitching staffs. They had, 8 All-Stars on this roster last year. The Phillies are still a really good team. The problem is, are they good enough to win the World Series? Are they disciplined enough to change their philosophies at the plate? I don't believe that Trey Turner is leading off till I see him do it consistently for not a week, but for like a month. That first little stretch that Trey Turner or Kyle Schwarber performed poorly in the leadoff spot, will he go back to Kyle Schwarber? I don't know. The Rock needs to stay in character when doing pressers. Yes, exactly. That's a big problem. No, it's Big Al and Rick. So I absolutely believe in the younger players. Yeah. Maybe Bryson Stott's healthy and he's going to be better. Maybe Marshall will be better. I don't know. I just don't have the faith in the lineup. I just don't. To consistently do it in the playoffs. They're going to win 90, 95 games. 92, 95 games this year. It's fine. They'll be second or third in the division behind either the Mets, Braves, or both. They're going to make the playoffs. Just not sure what they'll do after that. That's all. That's it. I have more. I'll put it this way. I have more confidence in the Eagles repeating as Super Bowl champions without knowing what their offseason is going to bring than I do in the Phillies winning a World Series this year. That's where I'm at. More confidence in a repeat Super Bowl than a World Series. But it's close. Actually, I think that's a good poll question. I need poll questions. You know I love my poll questions there, Mitchie Poo. Phillies, World Series versus Eagles Super Bowl repeat. There we go. I got a poll for Twitter. I have very little faith in the older guys outside of Wheeler. Maybe. Wheeler, Nola, Luzardo, Sanchez, Ranger. It's a pretty hell of a good starting rotation with Painter waiting in the wings. Let's not beat around a dead bush there. That's a pretty elite starting rotation. But confidence at Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, all those guys. I always hope for 69 votes. That's what I hope. Or one of the results to be 69%. I'm just not a Trey Turner guy. Someone else was bashing Trey Turner on my Twitter page the other day. Was that you? I have more confidence in Big Al winning a Chuck E. Cheese bare knuckle brawl fight. Yeah? Always bringing up the old things like that. Got to. But yeah, we've hit the top of the hour. Man, we've hit the top of the hour. And we probably still have not enough likes, not enough subscribes, not enough shares on this video. So please, guys, do your worst. Do that. Real quick, we're going to take the top of the hour to make a little station announcement. There will be no shows tomorrow or Thursday. We will be back Friday. All things considered, I will be confirming it the next day or so with Mr. El Parcero. JP Zapata will be joining me for about an hour of the show on Friday. No show on Wednesday or Thursday. The wife is having surgery tomorrow. Got to help take care of her. And then Thursday, I'm going to have to do double duty at the shop because she won't be able to work. So, I mean, she's going to try to work, but she's supposed to take a few days off. But yeah, so there'll be no show tomorrow, no show Thursday. While we take care of the wife, make sure she's all hunky-dory and better. And then Friday, we will be back with El Parcero. Oh, we're going to talk about, we're going to go 5 for 5 with JPP. Just so you know, JPP will, he likes his union. So we will cover the union for a minute or two. We'll cover all 5 teams with him and get his thoughts on everything. And he's going to be here for a while. So bring your questions, your comments. We'll try to very politically correctly ask him about his situation with PHLY and what happened there. I'm sure we won't get much information on him out of that. So I won't bash Trey Turner, but the $300 million. Yeah, $300 million, 13-year or whatever it was, 10-year. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to swallow, for sure, Noobs. Very much a lot to handle right there. Is he worth $300 million? Probably not in hindsight, but that's the problem with baseball. They made that move, and we're stuck with it. We are stuck with Trey Turner, and nobody's going to trade for him right now. So fresh into that contract, so you're stuck with him, and I don't even know what you do with him big picture because he's not going to be able to play shortstop long term. We got way too many first basemen and DH on this team on long term contracts. So, I mean, they're already trying to move JT Realmuto around. He's taking first base, reps. He's taking left field. He's shagging fly balls because they know they have an issue with JT Realmuto and conserving him. At least JT Realmuto is on the last year of his deal. That is a problem. The Phillies do not have a long-term solution at catcher. I don't think you can extend JT after this year. Marchand and Stubbs aren't the answer. They don't have a prospect in a position ready to step up next year. Is this the year the Mike Trout talk finally subsides? I hope so. I don't need Mike Trout in Philly. I think the Angels talked about earlier in camp that Mike Trout's moving to right field. He's not even a center fielder. And moving to right field is supposed to save him. So we'll see. Can the Phillies win a game this year? Mitchie Poo. There's 9 votes on the YouTube poll. There's that at least. There's that. I guess there's one thing there. We're up to 13 likes. No new subscribers today. Had to do a quick little search on my own. Yeah, the Phillies got a lot of older guys. Schwarber, JT, last year's of their deals. Castellanos has got one more year left. I don't know what to do. You got Aiden Miller down there in the minors. So I don't know with Trey Turner where his future is in this infield. Something I'll have to give, and I'm not sure what that is. Because there's a lot of first baseman DHs on this team right now. Anyway, bringing it back full circle, we're talking Darius Slay. We're talking Sixers. We're talking what should the Eagles do to replace Darius Slay. We're talking, was the Darius Slay trade the greatest value in return in a trade in Eagles history? Another little note I saw. I know people have joked about Kyle Pitts to Philly, but Michael Moyer, Raiders tight end, 23-year-old, former second-round pick. He's available. Would that be somebody? We know we need tight end depth. That rumor is starting to float around very fast and furious. that he could be a guy that comes to Philadelphia. I expect way more injuries this year and a successful youth by necessity movement for the Phillies. But at what positions? Like if you need a backup catcher, or if JT goes down, I don't like our options at catcher. I don't. Now Trey Turner, that's when you get your Aiden Miller debut probably. Nick Castellanos, what do you do there if he got hurt? Kyle Schwarber getting hurt would actually help. You can move guys to DH and all the time. But I get what you're saying. The Phillies are as young as the Philadelphia Eagles are. And the youth is why we won the Super Bowl. The Phillies are as old as shit. And that might be why they can't win the World Series. Because these guys are worn down by the end of the year, maybe. Maybe there is something to that. Now, I'm not saying the youth will make the Phillies win the World Series, but the Eagles build from within and then patchwork, fill in spots with veteran free agents and moves, and occasionally bring in a big star. Let me think about this. Where the Phillies are filled with high-priced free agent guys, the Eagles. Mekhi Becton was the only guy on the starting offensive line, not a draft pick. Jalen is a draft pick. They added Saquon Barkley this year. One wide receiver drafted, one wide receiver traded for. The defensive line was all draft picks. Zach Bond was a cast-off free agent, a cheap guy. Jacoby Dean brought in. Cooper DeJean, Quinion Mitchell, draft picks. Reed Blankenship was an undrafted free agent addition. So like 75+% of the Eagles were drafted and brought up from within. The Phillies just got a bunch of overpaid guys that brought in. Look at the difference there. It's really quite telling. I think if young guys step up, the Phillies could make a run. Well, which young guy needs to step up? Just write myself a note here. Something to do research over the next 2 days while we're not doing shows. So, so I'm prepared for Friday's show and future shows. We're not the Wheeze kids, but made our bed with these contracts. And that's a problem. I don't know how you get out of those contracts. They're also talking about a Schwarber extension. Thoughts? Don't love it. Don't hate it. The reason why I don't love it is because what I just said. You got a lot of guys playing positions that are going to eventually have to play DH or first base. You keep Schwarber, he's a DH. I think Schwarber's honestly played pretty solidly based on his contract. 4 years, $79 million. He's giving you 40+ home runs. He's done a solid job leading this team, being at least their most consistent player over the last 4 years, or 3 years, and then this year. At his age, an extension, any more than a 1-year extension, I don't think I would do. Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, you keep JT, Nick Castellanos next year. You need those spots at DH for those guys. I don't know. I would be okay walking away from him, but I also would not be concerned as long as it's not a long-term extension. DeJean is taking Slay's spot. Khalil Mack is 35. Why are we going Cooper DeJean to the outside, mister? I am against moving Cooper to the outside, even though I know it's a possibility, even though I know all his college and camp or pre-combine, all the tapes, and all the experts say he's an outside guy. He's also an inside guy, and he was damn elite on the inside. So if you move Cooper to the outside, then you've got to find a slot guy. Now, Ringo and Rogers may be okay replacing Slay on the outside, but neither of those guys are going to replace Cooper in the slot. So you create a new hole, a harder hole to fill by moving Cooper to fill a hole. Hard to know how to feel about it. Almost a need to let it play out. Yeah. I think I want Schwarber out of the leadoff more because his strikeout percentage than his power and speed. Look, I wanted Schwarber out of the leadoff spot since day one. It's not prototypical style. But in theory, Kyle Schwarber has performed better in the leadoff spot than not in the leadoff spot, batting average-wise, on base percentage-wise, etc. And the Phillies' record with him in the leadoff spot is better than when it's not. It's just like one of those weird things. Like, he's just more comfortable there. That's fine. I don't like it. I hope they don't do it. But here's what I know they keep talking about moving Schwarber back to leadoff, or Trey Turner to leadoff and Schwarber out of it. And they may very well do it, but I don't trust them. But what I see happening is they're going to put Turner in the leadoff spot game one, and then either Turner in the leadoff spot or Schwarber in the 4-hole will struggle for the first 2 weeks, and then Rob Thompson will panic, flip it, put Schwarber back in the leadoff, put Turner in the 2-hole. One of them will get hot, and then they'll just leave it there the rest of the year. Because I think they did do that at some point. And I just don't have faith that they'll do it long term. I would much rather give myself a 2-inch. Wow. Harper looked awkward at first base to me. What did you think? Harper is getting good at first base. I think Harper's almost borderline Gold Glove level at this point at first base. And he produces at the plate still. I think Harper at first base is the least of our problems. The problem is that we've got too many first basemen and DHs. He makes the plays, though. The tough part to judge on that. Yeah, I don't have an issue with it. Strikeout percentage hurts in the postseason. We need a power bat that people fear behind Harper. Turner career numbers in leadoff are really good, especially. Yeah, absolutely. Turner is a prototypical leadoff hitter. Schwarber is not. But there's this weird fascination between Schwarber and Rob Thompson with putting them there. And in theory, in the regular season, winning percentage-wise, it's worked. I believe they will experiment with Turner. And a couple days ago, I tweeted out, I built the perfect lineup. I forget what it was now. It would take me too long to go through all my tweets to find it. But I did tweet out the perfect Phillies lineup. And it is Turner 1. And I think I put Harper 2, Bohm 3, Schwarber 4, Casty 5, Stott 6, JT 7, Kepler 8, Marsh 9. And it's a pretty damn good Phillies lineup, honestly. You got a good blend of lefty-righty back-to-back. It gets you Harper 1 further up in the lineup, maybe a few extra bats this year. Bohm, I think, is more of a 3-hole hitter than a 4-hole hitter. I think Bohm is a 3 or a 5, not a 4 like they used him last year. Schwarber's perfect in that 5 spot. Maybe it gets Bohm more pitches to hit. I don't know. Thoughts on that lineup? Turner, Harper, Bohm, Schwarber, Casty Stott, JT, Kep, and Marsh. Schwarber likes to lead off because he sees more fastballs. They pitch around him in other spots in the batting order. And that is accurate. It's accurate. Now, if the guys in front get on, he can't pitch around them as much. I guess in that theory. Castellanos would actually have to have a great season all year long if it's Schwarber 4, Castellanos 5, because they'll just pitch around Schwarber when there's nobody on base if Castellanos is struggling. Dude, I know how to write a baseball line. It makes sense, right? Turner, Harper, Bohm, Schwarber, Casty, Stott, JT, Kepler, Marshy. See, I did. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Nobody picked up on it. Nobody picked up on the fact that my microphone used to be on this side. Now it's on this side. The details matter, Mitchie Poo. Maybe that's why the algo sucks, because I spelled Darius Slay's name wrong. So when people are Google searching Darius Slay right now, I'm not popping up because I spelled it wrong. Good catch, Mitchie Poo. That edit will happen on YouTube for replays as soon as I'm done this show, which is coming up very soon. Got so much on the agenda this week. Can't believe I'm even doing shows the first couple days of the week. Again, as a precursor, no shows next 2 days. We are MIA for 2 days here, guys. Honestly, it would be MIA for the rest of the week if it wasn't for me booking El Parcero accidentally for Friday. Mitchie Poo just loves to catch me when I make a mistake, basically. That's all there is to it. He just wants to catch those mistakes. Not the first time. I do a pretty good job of spelling names correctly in titles. Titles are very important to me. I spend a lot of time on the titles. In an investigation, details matter. See, I know you're watching Reacher now when you say that. Whenever I talk about details mattering, it's always a Reacher reference there, Big Al. What is more important to you, the slot cornerback or the outside cornerback? Why do you want less talented player outside? So it's not, look, the outside cornerback, yes, in theory, is more important than a slot cornerback. Right, I get it. But this has been something in all sports that I've always had an issue with. Fixing a hole on a team, but by fixing that, you create another hole. You've got one of the best slot corners in football already. In the NFL, a lot of wide receivers line up in the slot. A lot of top-tier wide receivers line up in the slot. Okay? You put Cooper on the outside, you have no options in the slot. You leave Cooper in the slot, you already got Keely Ringo, who's been learning from Darius Slay for 2 years, who's, in theory, been the guy drafted to eventually replace him. You bring in other people to compete with him. So, if you move Coop outside, you've got a complete hole. You've got nothing there. You've got nobody trained ready to step up to fill that position. And that's the reason for it. Details always matter. It's a matter of what energy you're willing to dedicate to them and risk you take by ignoring them. I try to care about every detail. I do. And yes, I misspelled Darius Slay. And it's really, really, I'm ready to just end the show right now because it's pissing me off so much that I spelled Darius Slay's name wrong. It's really, really quite annoying right now, man. And my eyes just keep going to the top left corner of my screen where the title is on the streaming app. It's really annoying me. And thanks for pointing it out mid-show, Mitchie Poo, because now I'm slightly overly distracted more than I've already been for the last, 2-3 months. They took a screenshot before you correct his name. Cool. It's all right. It's all right, Mitchie Poo. Mistakes happen. I'm not perfect. Even though I'm perfect, I'm not perfect. I make a mistake from time to time. I can't help that. It is what it is. It's part of being perfect is sometimes you make a mistake purposely to see if it, I did that purposely just to see if anyone can catch it. That's all there is to it. I am in a down. I've been in a downward spiral for a long time, K1. So, there's nothing. That's nothing new to me. But this is just a new reason to be in the downward spiral. That's all I'm saying there. That's all I'm saying about that. But anyway. Yeah, I'm toast now. I'm toast for this day. Mitch wants Makiri Page in this secondary. Again, I tried to Google his name and it didn't put up. Put respect on Slay. I effed up. I missed the name. Error. You couldn't catch that before I went live, Mitch. Thanks. I appreciate that. Someone check Mitch's 50 YouTube pages. Yeah, I'm going. He literally has all these subscribers, but only because he's every one of his own subscribers. Mitchie Poo has 17,000 YouTube pages, and that's how I'm going to catch every one of his mistakes now. Yeah, and I'm going to go harass him on his shows. What is Slay going to talk about on his podcast now? It's actually a good point. I'm curious to hear what he says about this post-June 1st. And it's kind of annoying, with the legal tampering period, all this. Post-June 1st, we already know who's getting cut. Darius Slay's can't be signed until after June 1st. But there's negotiations and contract talks and things happening already for him. He's already got an idea where he stands. I have to listen to what Darius Slay has to say. You have to figure out if there's any tea leaves being dropped in what he says, for sure. He is going to talk about Phil misspelling. I hope he does. I would love for Darius Slay to talk about me misspelling his name, for sure. Maybe that'd get me a few extra clicks and eyes on this channel because not enough likes are happening on this channel. This offseason, once the Super Bowl hangover ended, the algo dropped instantly. 150, 250 views a show, down to 60, 80 views a show. Because now we're in the dead period, because the Sixers suck ass. The Phillies haven't started yet. If Mitch is his own YouTube bot, would that make him an auto? Nice try. It's kind of a chuckle. Not funny, but kind of worth a chuckle. We'll call in a fake pizza, or he probably would, and not pick it up. That's right. When's the last post 6-1 designated release we made in early March? I'm not sure. When did we post June 1st designate the Fletcher Cox? Did we do it post June 1st, or was it announced ahead of time? Because we've gone through this with Fletcher Cox recently. So there's that. Do you think Slay will retire instead of playing somewhere? No, I don't. I thought, before the Super Bowl, before the Super Bowl victory, he had said he wanted one more year. Thought he had one more good year in him. Then you win the Super Bowl and you think, does he just want to ride off into the sunset as a Super Bowl champion? No, I think he plays one more year. I think he thinks he's got it in him one more year to get one more strong payday. But would it shock me if he retired? No, I just doubt he does. Dad jokes. Yeah, exactly. Slay will call David Archerry. We'll call David Archerry on Rick from earlier in the show. All of a sudden, here, as we get to the end of the show, a few more people popping in the YouTube room. Final thoughts on Slay. Final thoughts on Tyrese Maxey getting hurt when he shouldn't even be playing. As we get ready to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. Whatever final comments you've got, now's the time. Because, again, you're going to go 2 days without me, guys. So any final thoughts you got, you better get them out here in the next 5 minutes. Because then you're going to have to live without me for 2 days. And then Friday will be mostly El Parcero talking. And you guys not having any say in the matter. For say, I honestly think it's about the best setup for his post-playing career. Yeah. These athletes are always thinking about what's next. Those podcast days. Sixers should issue refunds and shut the team down. They should issue refunds. 1,000% should issue refunds. Doesn't want Slay roasting him. Slay got jokes for days. I would let Slay roast me. Sure, I don't care. Don't bother me. I would let him give his celebrity rub off on me. I'm sure there's a dirty joke mixed in there somewhere, the way I said that. But yeah, I'm sure. Just heard my phone vibrate. Anything important? Sorry. Got lots going on, guys. Lots going on. Anyway, I gotta have to look that number up. Anyway, guys, it's time. We're gonna start the wrap-up process here. Might as well start it now, as this show has just evolved, and we're gonna take a 2-day break. 2-day hiatus while I take care of the wife. Let's face it, though, there was a long stretch of time he was no play Slay. Just 2023. 2023 was a bad year. But 2023 was a bad year for the entire defense. He was very good in 22. He was very good in 24. So there's that. But the Eagles, very well. But again, like I said, when Derek Gunn speaks, we listen. Derek Gunn speaks, we listen. Derek Gunn said there's a strong chance that Darius Slay returns, and they work it out. When he sees the market Darius Slay's got 3 options. He can return to the Eagles on a 1-year deal, cheaply. He can go to a bad team that'll overpay him, or he'll see that he's not going to get paid like he wants by a good team. So maybe he comes back. Slay's this man. Yeah. I am going to edit it. You know, as soon as we get, literally, I'm going to wrap this show up in about 2 minutes, and I'm going to edit it immediately, and then it's gone. It's fine. It'll be spelled wrong on Twitter. I don't think I can edit it on Twitter, but I can edit it on YouTube. Actually, no, you get an hour to edit on Twitter, and we're an hour and 25 minutes into the show, so guess I can't edit Twitter, but that's fine. Whatever. I don't care. I'm just going to edit the YouTube because that's all that really matters right now to me. Building that YouTube algorithm, Mitchie Poo. And screwing up Darius Slay's name probably played a slight factor. I wonder if I misspelled it on the short I did as well. I don't know. We'll have to find out. Guys, stay tuned. 6 p.m. tonight. Fairway to Heaven. Talking API. Sixers should do a halftime dunk tank. Yeah, I would absolutely pay that money. As long as I know that money's not going to Josh Harris's pocket. I don't want to give any more money to Josh Harris. If it was going to a charity or something like that, absolutely. I would punk $100 down. You know, I want to throw eggs at them. Yeah, it would sell out in 2 seconds. Can we just do like line them up against a brick wall and throw eggs at them? I would drop $100 to throw a dozen eggs at Daryl Morey and Josh Harris. Absolutely, dude. It would sell out. Literally, they should have done it at the Eagles parade. Every single person would have dropped $5 on that. Guaranteed. Anyway, time to say goodbye. Wrap this shebang up. Guys, everybody have a great day. Please like, share, subscribe. Please. I will be back tonight, 6 p.m. And then we will be back with Trending in the AM on Friday with the great JP Zavada, El Parcero Philly. You're not going to want to miss that. We are going to go 5 for 5, covering all Philly sports. We're going to talk it all. So everybody have a great day, please. Please be well. We'll talk later, guys. Go Birds! The bubble's up.
Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 pop.